Now, when it comes to immigration reform, there's the policy and, of course, the politics. Now, first, the policy. Back in June, the Senate passes immigration reform that includes a path to citizenship for undocumented immigrants in the U.S. It's been stuck in the House ever since. Now, that leads us to the politics. That's the bad part. In recent weeks, the number 3 Republican in the House has said immigration reform dead on arrival in 2013. Not going to happen, and maybe for 2014 as well. That didn't play well for the GOP, making it look like the party, which lost 70+% of the Hispanic vote in 2012, that they were the anti-immigration party. And as Jeannie will tell you, that's not a good way to win elections. So, last week, House Speaker John Boehner said, wait, immigration, it is not dead in the House. Quote, we just want to tackle the issue piecemeal and not in one big bill. Now, most people thought that would be a non-starter when it came to the White House, but surprisingly, the president said, why not, or we'll call your bluff, saying he's welcomed any movement on the issue. So all eyes shifted to Nancy Pelosi, who has said in the past the piecemeal approach will not work. Now, she's on board too, though, so the surprises keep on coming. So with all eyes back on House Republicans today, President Obama tried to turn up the heat on immigration, even enduring a heckler in San Francisco to do so.
The easy way out is to try to yell and pretend like I can do something by violating our laws. And what I'm proposing is the harder path, which is to use our democratic processes to achieve the same goal that you want to achieve. But it won't be as easy as just shouting. It requires us lobbying and getting it done.
Now, this is a backdrop of data coming out here, a poll on immigration. Now, the takeaway, this got popular and even bipartisan support. Look at these numbers. 63% of all Americans, they support a path to citizenship for undocumented immigrants. 14%, they want a way for the undocumented to stay without full citizenship. 18% saying round them up and deport them. Now, the party split, that's interesting as well. The path to citizenship, supported by almost 3 in 4 Democrats and 3 in 5 Republicans also behind this, but only by 57% of independents. Okay, leave the independents out of this for a minute. Have you seen there seems to be trending on this. We've seen this with other issues, gay marriage maybe most recently, or maybe even legalizing marijuana. It seems, certainly from the younger demos, that they see an inevitability with this. They think that it makes sense. People know people that fit into this. The DREAM Act, I guess, was part of the dialogue. Would Republicans be wise, forget about what they do politically, but to look at the data and say there is a trend here and it's not going to go the other way?
Yeah, Republicans would be wise to look at their numbers of Hispanic support in the last elections and realize that they have no choice. This is coming down the pike. We have a crisis in immigration in this country. You have 14 million undocumented immigrants in this country. You have to deal with the issue as you find it. Not only that, the politics in this case line up with the policy. So I think, you know, the president is right and Nancy Pelosi is right, or they're both right to say that they will accept a piecemeal approach. They're not going to get the comprehensive approach they may have wanted, but Republicans will be on board, and President Obama needs a win. Republicans need a win. So as much as I don't believe it's going to happen in 2013, I don't think there's enough time, but I think we may see some movement in 2014. It won't be comprehensive.
But does it get dangerous, Jeannie, if they try and get it done next year, that if they do it anytime remotely near the primaries, if you're a Republican and you do anything that smacks of compromise here, you're inviting a Tea Party challenger in a primary?
Yeah, absolutely. But what they can do is they can take small steps before 2014 midterm and take bigger steps after that, because they need this done before 2016 when they go out for the presidential election and have no hope of winning without Hispanics. I mean, that's the reality of the numbers. They got killed last time.
And as Jeannie said, if you look at the metrics, everybody, in terms of where the country is going demographically, the 1% population that is increasing in every single census is the Hispanic population here. As the white population goes down, and the African American stays pretty constant. Dominic, the funny part is, if people actually read the legislation, this idea of amnesty, it couldn't be farther from the truth. If you read what hurdles you have to go through to do it, I would make the argument from a practical, not a political standpoint, you almost make it less appealing for them to come out of the shadows. They got to pay fines here. They got to pay back taxes. They got to hold the job down.
They wait.
They got to
13
wait.
years.
They got it right. You got to wait. You got
They
to
also have to go through background checks, which
background
makes it safer for everybody.
Right.
So-
I mean, this would be great if it worked here, but the idea that, you get slapped on the back, you get a little flag here, and you say, "Knock yourself out. You're an American." Just show up at, at the State House. It don't work that way. So I don't know. If Republicans sometimes they won't take a good deal when it's in front of them, I thought they had a good deal.
Well, it's interesting. I agree with what the professor said, but it's interesting that progress is going to be defined as a piecemeal approach. That's the only way that we're going to see something done, and it's going to come down to how do we define amnesty? Because the approach you just laid out, all parties are not going to agree, no matter what's agreed to. As everything comes back to what are, I'm not going to say the nuts, but what are the Tea Party Republicans in the House? The nuts.
Well, they
what
are
are they
the
going
nuts
to do?
because it's not right to couch
It is
this
not
as a
right.
Democrat versus Republican issue. Whatever you thought of Bush or McCain, they were way out in front on
Bush's
immigration.
proposal, by
Way
the way,
out in
was
front
more
on it.
progressive than even what they
Absolutely.
initially passed, in the Senate. I mean, to be fair, other than McCain getting behind Bush, Republicans didn't. And I don't know, Andrew. I always thought that this was tailor-made for Marco Rubio, and it seemed like he got up to the line here where he was going to fully try and own this thing, and then he got cold feet and he backed off or he tried to water it down. I thought this was a huge opportunity.
I think he got some blowback within his own party, and he's got aspirations for the White House in 2016, so he backed away also. This is one of those issues where I think the public is not thinking politically. The public is just thinking what's the right thing to do, what's the wrong thing to do, what's feasible and what's not. The politics of this are disastrous right now. There's no chance, Jeannie's right, there's no chance this gets done in 2013. I don't think this gets done in 2014 because Republicans are afraid of the primary on the issue, and Democrats don't want to give up the issue going into the 2014 midterms. They want to be able to hammer Republicans by saying they're the anti-immigration party, they're the anti-Hispanic party, so that the stars really aren't aligned for a lot of big movement on this. The piecemeal approach is where the game of chicken gets into it, and this could get a little interesting. Let's say the House passes the DREAM Act. I don't think they will, but let's just take that for an example. It says, here's the one piece we'll send to the White House. Now it's on the president. What are you going to do? Are you going to sign this one piece, or are you going to send it back and say, I want more? And so maybe they have a little political leverage going back and forth.
I think it's that issue, and also, Mark, you have the idea, there's more at the state level, granted, but licenses, driver's license for illegal immigrants. There's the debate. You say
Social
you're
Security
rewarding, right? You're rewarding illegality, but on the flip side, you get somebody, an undocumented person without a license, you get in an accident. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to take off here. So for all sorts of practical reasons, it makes sense. But the optics of it are, you're rewarding people who are here that shouldn't be.
Well, as you said, I think there's an inevitability to it. It's not going to happen now because, let's face facts, we're already in the longest lame duck session in the history of Congress
Starting
and the
to look that way.
presidency. So it's not going to happen now, maybe eventually, not now.
It's amazing. 2 for 2. Gun control is now reforming immigration, and we're getting nowhere closer. All right, now we ask you the same question, though, at home here. You saw the numbers I laid out. Are you with the majority of the public here? Do you support a path to citizenship for undocumented immigrants, or do you think, as some critics say, it's just dressed up amnesty? Find us on Facebook or Twitter and sound off. Okay, when we come back, an issue Andrew's been dying to talk about, but I think it's interesting in more than just for New Jerseyans, which is internet gambling here. Believe it or not, casinos that hated the idea now are behind it here, and it looks like New Jersey's full steam ahead on this. Is this good policy or not? Exactly. And back to Jersey. We'll get to that straight ahead.